All right, we're here. No such thing as minor one, people.
No such thing.
Okay. DJ.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, bro. This is the thing is that we've been. Apparently, this is like a thing. I don't. Who would have known? But I've been posting these things, and honestly, I thought it was obvious. I guess it's not really my idea. I kind of learned it from playing with all the church guys, which is like you and Corey and Tejan and Joe and the list goes on. I mean, originally I learned a lot of this from David White too. You remember David?
Yep.
Anyways, so I think it's just funny because the way I hear things now is like, I feel like I understand what, like, I learned from going to school and playing jazz stuff and hanging out with all these guys. It's like,
right.
They hear these movements, like, for example, minor blues, people were losing their minds because I said it's from the 6. And it's like the movements. It's like, I get that sounds like 1,
right,
4. Okay, I get it. We get it. The point is that, like, when you resolve or when you go to the major key, like in some of the song examples that I was giving, like a lot of them are jazz tunes. I did one church tune and some other stuff, but it's like, I think it's more specific to hear whether it's 6 or 2,
right,
or even 3. Because like when we're playing some of these songs, like at Soul Sunday and stuff, it's like the way that you hear things. It's like that's how we talk inside. Right. That world, and then that's church. That I learned all this from my church gig. Mm-hmm. How do you think of it when you hear these things? Because when I ask you guys, you're like, yeah, duh.
Well, that's the thing. My side of it is more kind of biased because I've never heard of minor 1. And right. I've heard of minor. I never heard of my 6 being referenced as a 1. It just wouldn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. So
why wouldn't it make sense though? Because I feel like I understand what you're saying.
Because it's almost like just like in the tone of it, like I don't hear 1. If I hear something on a 6, it's almost like it's distinguished as definite 6. I'm thinking of any 6. My theory and understanding growing up was my dad used to challenge me and like, what is the 6 of or 5 of something, just 6 of something. He would just always, or he'll hear a commercial and try to be like, oh, what key was that in? Mm-hmm. And so it got my kind of reference notes of where stuff is. So when I hear notes within the scale, I go, or if I hear something in the song, I go based off of the bass notes. And what does the bass start on? If the bass starts on something that's, say, if we're in, let's say we're in E flat. Right. My C is my 6. So I wouldn't say if a song started there, I wouldn't associate that with like, okay, that means that's my key that I'm starting from. I just think that it's just and it goes for any note. I can be on A flat, B flat. I would associate that like, okay, that's either my 4 or my 5. Not thinking that's like, oh, it's my 6 is my minor 1 or something like that.
Right.
Just wouldn't make sense. Now I understand the relatives, So we're just basically talking about just thirds, a minor third away.
Yeah, and so I mean, I feel like to me too, it's like what I've noticed is like some of the, like I feel like the coolest sound is the whole minor third movement, because that's what you do in a blues. Like this is what my whole argument is like, I just feel like you should specifically hear the fact that it's either 6 or 2 or 3, and most of the time it's 6 because it's relative minor. It sounds good to us, and that's minor third movement. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is like, if we're playing a church tune and you're in C major, right, and then we're vamping 3, 4 up 5. Let's just say it's just straight major and it's like churchy, right? But when you say churchy, that to me, I'm like, oh, that means we're playing like bluesy,
probably more dominant chords.
Yeah, more dominant. See, but the fact that you even know that already is what I'm saying. So to me is like, I hear major as either major.
Right.
But you can also make it churchy, which would be, you can add that sound. But it's like we're still thinking in C major, right? But you can play little church licks and like you can play basically blues licks inside that major sound. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, the blues is exactly the same. In blues, you play major, you play minor. That's what you do. You like That's the whole essence of it. You're mixing the two, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's like, for the people that haven't watched my blues video, go watch it, because it's literally I'm saying the same thing I said in that video. But the thing is that like, I feel like that's really important, because your ear really likes the sound of, that's what I call parallel playing. Mm-hmm. You play C major, but and then the minute you play some licks,
right.
And then, you know, even so, like at church, you'd be playing in C, and then like you'll easily play F minor. Mm-hmm. So you'll put an A flat in there, mm-hmm. which is like flat 6, God's note. That's what Sean says. And I love that. I think it's hilarious. But it's like, that sound is like, that's the sound that we always go back to. And to me, that's like the whole idea of playing major and minor over that, right? And it's like, when we do go from C major, and then at the end it's like, if you play A flat major, B flat major, C minor, then mm-hmm. it's like, well, now it sounds like we're in E flat. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll yell out E flat. Yeah. But they're playing C minor.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like the ear is hearing it in that perspective.
Right. Now, going back, you said a lot of church guys, and I grew up in church playing as well. And sometimes they call out chords that they think that they may know. It's like, so sometimes that is an easy, you know, a lot of people are, let's say, you know, we all have the same environment, but we're not all having the same teaching.
Right.
So somebody may think C minor and E flat major is the same chord, because they don't know, and it's close enough. Mm-hmm. You know, mm-hmm. Or they just was taught, when they go there, they just do this, but they don't know the association or the theory. They just know what they heard. And that's how we got by so long, especially myself, with just knowing numbers. Number system gets you by. If you don't know nothing, learn your numbers, you know, because it's associated with chords.
But see, that's the thing, dude, is I feel like because of that, you really hear when it's 6,
right? Going back to
4, and when
you said a song earlier, but I can even give another example of like "So Beautiful" by Music Soul Child.
Perfect.
So
that's a great example.
So the first note is B flat, A, and then it starts on the G, the G minor, G minor 7. I'm in F. There's no F in the intro of anything, so I can't call. Oh, I'm in B flat major. No, I'm not in B flat. I'm not in A. I'm not in A minor. Mm-hmm. I'm not in G.
Yeah, and all the chords fit in F.
All the chords fit in F, and it literally goes within the numbers. It's just
it's perfect.
4, 3, 2. But I'm in F. But some people will say some people, you know, I think I'm in G minor or something. No, I'm not in G minor. I think I'm in B. No, I'm not in B.
See, here's my whole.
I'm not in D minor either.
So watch. That's the exact thing. So like when I say like, for me, I listed a bunch of jazz tunes because that's what I know best. But it's like, I have lists of them where I'm like, okay, well, what about Summertime? Mm-hmm. It's like, Summertime, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. That's one of the videos I did. And it's like, well, Summertime starts on the 6. And it's like, well, that's A minor. They're like, oh, it's minor 1. I'm like, what? Yeah, but then what happens when you go 2-5 to C major?
Right.
Is that just a different key, or do you just say, I feel like it's easier to just say, it goes 6, starts on the 6, and then you do 2-5 to major, right? Or it's the same key. It's just that you don't even have to say to wherever. It's the same key you're in. You know what I
mean? Even with Sunshine.
With Sunshine, yeah. That one's a little more.
6, but you have a 2-5-1 in there.
Yeah, exactly. That one's, I mean, for me, that one's an A, right? Because you start on F sharp and then you do 2-5 to the 4.
D. Yeah.
And it sounds like 2-5 to the 4. It sounds like you're going to the 4.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So I mean,
it's just that I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's more specific to hear what number you're actually on.
Yeah. I would say go by the degree and go by the bass note. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna hit home. And you were even posting like the staff sheet. Okay, and it just made it make more sense when you see what signature is in. Like,
that's the other thing is like, guys.
Well, you can't ignore that one right there.
Oh my God.
You can't ignore that one.
Yeah, I just think that's funny. Oh, damn it. And all I know is these GoPros, they be blowing it. Dude. How am I supposed to go catch some big waves? And then like not this thing just turns off? Like what? I don't understand. There we go.
There we go.
All right. I mean, don't make me bust out my list because I got a whole list here ready. So like I got some church songs too. But I guess for me, like the easiest way for me to hear it is to do it through songs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I just can't really, like, what are we talking about? It's just like random chords. But like, for example, on, like, well, what about, I did one of the videos was Yearning. Mm-hmm. Okay, so on Yearning.
I would say that starts on the 2, but 2s or 6s is the same.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be either 2. Like, I feel like it's important to know which one you're on because the 2 sounds much different. Yeah. And that's what's cool about that song is you're kind of surrounding the 2.
Which you should know, but it's at the same time like almost like you will get, going back to Sunshine, you will get that messed up. And like, I have a 2-5-1 to D, but I'm not in D.
I see.
So, if I did a 2-5-1, and Yearning, yes, I'm in the key of D,
Or what about like
I was thinking another song, Ain't Nobody.
Of course.
You can see it as you're in like, you're in F sharp major.
Or like what about like see, like I have a list here of, we were talking about that 6 of 6 or it's like flat 5. Mm-hmm. Like when you're in minor and you do like, I have one of my favorite ones that does this is The Way, the Jill Scott tune. Da 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 da. Right? I got to do one of those. That's a good video.
Yeah.
But you start on the 6 and then you walk down to the C, right?
Right.
And so it's like you're in G flat, right? So that note, like what do they call that then?
If you want to say that's your start point?
I'm just saying if that's minor 1, so what that would be like, I mean, that's why I kind of hear it, because if you were to hear it as, I mean, they would call it 6, because I call it 6 of 6 because to me, it always, that's a very common sound is you come from the 6 chord and then you walk down chromatically to that tritone, right?
I think it was always more easier to hear flat 5 because if I had a resolve,
right,
it would be like my ear. If like I was like there, I would raise up to the D flat,
yeah,
and play that like like a sus chord.
I see what you're saying.
Like like what an A minor chord, A flat minor.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
A flat minor 7.
So like, yeah, it's interesting because I feel like we're talking about, because that's kind of what Kiefer was saying when that guy was cracking me up with his comments. But like he was saying, it's basically what I'm saying too. It's like you can call it whatever you want. You're still playing the same damn chords. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, how are you putting words to the sound is my whole thing.
Right.
Because if we're going to do, even if you do simple minor tunes, like if you're saying it's minor 1, then like the way you'd have to hear it when it goes to just relative major seems very weird to me.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I asked you before. I was like, so if that's my 6, what do you think if that's my 1, what do you think
1 is?
Yeah, what do you think my 1 would be?
So 1, I mean, it would be flat 3. That's what it would be.
That would be confusion.
So
doesn't make sense.
If we're in A minor, if 6 chord is A, and I do 7, because to us, I would hear 7. See, this whole thing is, I think minor 2 5s come from 7 3 6, right? 7 3, you make the 3 dominant instead of minor, right? But that's the whole thing. You make it's blues, baby. You make everything dominant.
Yeah.
So you like 7 3, which goes to 6, right? That's where minor 2 5s come from, in my opinion. I feel like in jazz school, they don't say that really. They say it's 2 5 minor 1.
Gotcha.
And I always wonder, well, why do you play half diminished? Well, but the thing is that they'll say, if I ask someone, what do you play over half diminished? Locrian. Bro, that's 7. Like, that's the 7th mode.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so we agree there, but like, I don't know why we're disagreeing, but like, so 7 3 6, if we're in A minor, 6 chord, then if I go 2 5, if I do D, G, C, then what is that? I went to C major, but according to like A minor being the 1, that would be flat 3 major. Because A to C is a flat 3. I just, that seems so, it's like, bro, that's just 6. And then
it's a lot to maneuver around.
Yeah, I just don't.
Think of it just like if any chord, if a song, Unbreakable, I think the song is by Alicia Keys.
Oh, okay.
It starts on it doesn't walk up to the 5. So like if you hear 5 when a song, why would you think, you don't think like, oh, I know what my 1 is. If you hear if a song starts on the 4, what's the song that starts on the 4?
Song that starts on the 4?
What You Gonna Do for Love?
Oh yeah, there you go.
That starts on the 4. Or I guess you wonder.
Yeah, that would be the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're in A flat.
Right. So you wouldn't think that. I mean D flat. You wouldn't think you wouldn't play D flat major.
Yeah, right? I don't know. I guess I mean, dude, we're preaching to the choir back and forth here.
I'm sure you. How about this? Sure you can, but you're not. You're not thinking D flat major. How about that? You can't play it. I can start on it. It would just be starting from my 4.
Yeah, and the whole thing is like all these melodies.
But you're not thinking from that point because at some point you're gonna wind up and not know where your 7 is, your true 7 is, or 6 is,
right?
Because you're gonna think B flat your 6 and really is F,
right?
So yeah. I would say I don't know what word it is, but like I think diatonically you won't be wrong. So say you play thirds from D flat, and I'm really in A flat.
Okay.
So you play thirds.
Right.
You'll still end up playing A flat major, just starting on the 4. You still have the same color and all of that.
Yeah, but you'll play G flat.
But you'll play G flat, and if you're not knowing that, you're in A flat, you're gonna end up missing your 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know? So I'm just saying, like, regardless if it's 6, if it starts on 4, starts on 3, starts on 7, whatever, regardless, you should know where your 1 is and not think of it as a minor 1.
Well, and the thing is that like all the melodies, when you hear the melodies of these songs, it's like you clearly know which one's 1. And it's pretty obvious. Like a lot of these melodies are in the major pentatonic, which is the minor pentatonic of the 6. You know what I mean? It's like, but I don't know. I feel like once you hear it like that, it's like it's obvious where we are.
Right.
In my opinion. It's just that, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I remember when I wasn't hearing it like this, and then at my church gig, it's like they would shout numbers, and there's no sheet music, so it's like you better just learn what you're doing.
Yep.
And it's like your ear forces you to really hear it, in my opinion, like this. And I think you should do both for the record. It's like, guys, we get it. It sounds like 1 minor 4 when you go, 6 to the 2. But that's my whole point is like, in order to, you have to know that that's 6 and then 2. Like even for like one of my favorite tunes, what's the one we play with Damien, the LTD song? What is it, in D? Or it's in A?
It's in A.
It's an A, but starts on D. There's one that starts on the 4.
Yeah.
What's the name of that song? I always forget it. Love Ballad.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Love Ballad. Yeah. Because at the end, what does the end do? It has that cool little like tag. It's like a 3-measure tag. Right?
Like, yeah, walks to the 5, to the 6, to the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like how, I don't know. I just feel like you should know to be able to really hear, because at church you'll always sub out, say you're doing like 1-4, and then they'll do the common sub where it'll be like, what is it, like 3-6 or 2-6 or what would it be?
Depends what we're doing.
Yeah, it depends on what we're doing. But like I know sometimes when we'll be playing a major, and I have to think about it for a second, but if we're in major and then all of a sudden it'll be like, hey, do 2-6, like 2-6, it'll be the same movements, right? So let's say we're in C major, right? So if we were, it would be like 4 to 1. Say we're doing like 4-1, 4-1, whatever. Let's say a common sub would be 2 instead of the 4, 6 instead of the 1, right? But it's like how is that any different than when you start on the 6 or what? Like, I don't know. I just feel like to clearly hear those is crucial. Yeah. That's what helped me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Well, I mean, like I said, like that's all of my understanding when it came up in like my upbringing. Right. So it was no other thought of thinking that's my 1 in a minor sense. Right. You know, so I can't think of the song name, but I remember like very early on when I was learning how to play, it was a song that was in B flat minor. I thought it was in B flat minor because it started on, and it had like that minor sound. And so, and it was just staying on there moving, like just doing like this movement from like A flat, A flat, A to B flat, and just kind of going back and forth. And then it finally made its way back to 1.
To D flat?
To D flat. And so I remember asking my dad, I was like, what key is this song in? And he was like, it's in C sharp, but it starts on B flat. Right. Within it, that's a 6.
Right. See, that's my guy right there.
And so woo-hoo! I didn't know nothing. And so it just made me like a rule of thumb. Like, okay.
You heard it as the 6.
I heard something was different. I was like, because I knew this wasn't B flat, because if I played B flat major, something's missing. Yeah. And so, okay, he was like, if you play D flat, it just all click.
Okay, what about the classic tune? What is that? What's the name of that song?
I will bless the Lord.
I will bless. Yeah. I will bless.
It's F sharp.
Yeah, so you're in F sharp. You start in E flat, right? Or you do the 2. What is it? Like 2.
I would A flat to B flat.
Yeah, and then D diminished, E flat.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So like, what is that? E flat minor 1? Like that's where I'm like, what? I'm out, bro. Like,
or you, or you think of it like what's the?
So that would be 4, 5, 6. I don't know. What would the D be? 7, 1.
The D.
If we're thinking minor 1.
D flat.
If the A flat would be, what is that? 4, 5, right? And then 7, 1.
You'd be screwed. If you'd be screwed.
That's just not how I hear it at all. Like my ear, if I was to hear that separately without words, I would hear in my head like, oh, that's 2, Yeah. If you played it, I would think in my head that, and then I would just figure out the key, and then that's what I would play, because I would know. Because that's what always tripped me out, dude, is like I'd be at these church gigs and like the sub piano player would come in, and I don't know who he is, and he has no idea what songs we're playing, and he'll straight up go out in the front and just listen on his phone, and he would figure it out on his phone. He'd be like, oh, it's 2, what is it? 2, 3, down 6, right? He would just figure it out.
Right.
And then now I get it. Before I was like, bro, I don't understand how this guy's doing that. And then now I get it. I'll be, because now I do that before Neo Soul Tuesday sometimes.
Yeah. It's just the numbers. Numbers get away. If anything, I'll say learn your numbers and what is associated with your chords. And then knowing like different places and situations, if you call out a number, it will be associated. So if I'm in a church setting and maybe upon like whatever point in the service, it depends. If you say 6, 2, 5, 1, I would associate it based off of what's going on.
Right.
If you said that to me so Sunday, it would not relate to anything. Like it would have commonality, but I knew I would know not to play. Probably it wouldn't be more dominant chords, and then like it would be more minor chords.
Okay, so wait, let's jump into this then, because I think my whole thesis of this whole thing is that like dominant chords, aka blues, baby, is like I feel like I didn't really understand the concept of like, say we're just playing churchy like 1, 4, 1, 4, just straight like 1, 4, just over and over. But then all of a sudden at the end of the phrase, they'll do something like that, and then they'll go back to it, and which is basically a minor pentatonic lick, right? But they'll pair it with 3, 6, 2, 5, major 1, and then we're back in church. And then it's just like blues, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, that whole essence right there is the next layer. I feel like which is playing major and then you play minor parallel 6 chord, right? Because and then it's like that's the sound of, in my opinion, all American music, really, because that's the whole thing that would happen is like we made blues, which, you know, it's like you play major and minor, like you play like say you play C7. Right? Is if we're in C and you want to make it like, I don't know, just super churchy, you would play C major and then you'd have a B flat in there. You can even put an E flat up top too. Right? That's like a very common thing. Right?
Yeah.
But that's like how, you know.
I would probably play E.
E also, yeah. Yeah,
E
that's
with it like a G.
Yeah, and then you have an E flat also that you could, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that right there though, to me is like, that's like giving you the answer for everything. Because I feel like I don't know, I get deep, bro. Because I always wondered, like, why does that sound good? Because I think that's what's unique about our music, right? In America specifically, is that idea right there, is where you can play that dissonant sound, but it sounds good to us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I realized maybe I'm just thinking too hard, but I don't really care what anyone thinks. In the overtone series, like think on Oregon, you know, the drawbars, those are just the overtones, right? Are they literally the overtones, or is it like, okay.
Yeah.
So
each note is different.
Right. So the overtones, but when you get to the important part of the overtones, it's basically 1, 3, 5, which is where I feel like diatonic harmony comes from. You know what I mean? Like that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? But then after that, the next harmonic series note is flat 7. And then it goes 1. And then I think it's like 1, 2,
I don't know,
3, sharp 4, I think is what it is. But sharp 4 or flat 5 is in it. So essentially the overtone series is basically playing a big, like, dominant flat 5 chord.
Yeah, just out of one sound.
Yeah, which is basically the blues, bro. Yeah. Like that's basically what you play when you're playing church. You know what I mean? It's like you're mixing the major sound, which is the 1, 3, 5, major scale, diatonic harmony, whatever, and then you overlay that on top, which I think most people don't talk enough about. Is like that's the sound. Is you can play that parallel minor over it. Right. Which to me sounds like 6 because and then at the same time when it calms down and you're just playing organ and you're just filling in the space, right? You'll play inside C, and then you'll also play A flats.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if I had a keyboard here, like it'll that kind of talk like it makes sense because I like to move within those minors within itself. So like I can be in F, I can walk to A flat or B flat very within any key. Really, it's almost like tell me what key to go to. I know how to get there from wherever I am, but making it in that dominant setting, say we're in F, like playing F blues, like within.
So we're in F, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, most definitely. Like, yeah, I can. If I walk to D, I know that's my 3 of B flat. If I walk to, you know, if I did a walk to G to A flat to C, I know I can get to E flat back to. Once C, and if I do C is the 5 of F, so if I do a chord on B, and then go back to the 4, B flat, like I can get, you can get where you need to get, but I think it's way more easier when you realize it and think of it as like your bass notes. Associate your bass notes with chords rather than thinking your chords with bass notes because you can get more further.
I totally agree with you. Because that's how I do it.
Because you only have so many bass notes.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can have endless chords. But
if you know what the bass note is,
you
can usually figure out what the chord is on top.
Right. And you know, knowing all your keys will allow you to see where everything else is put in place. Like E is just a cousin of G. Right. You know, G is just a cousin of C. C is a cousin of E flat. Everybody's
it's funny you say it like that because that's how Barry Harris talks about it. I like it. He talks about the family tree. That's what I call it. He doesn't. Makes sense. I don't know if he says that, but he talks about how. I think he said I gotta rewatch that. It's on my YouTube on one of the playlists, but it's like he talks about how dominant chords are cousins of diminished chords. Or wait. No. The 4 dominant chords that go with diminished are like cousins, or I can't remember exactly how he put it. It's really good though. He basically said it's like, and this is the sister and brother and sister, mom and dad, whatever, and then the cousins, and it's like it kind of makes sense when you hear them. Yeah. I should remember how it is, but I have it saved, but I can't remember exactly. But it's something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me ask you this: Why do you think our ear likes the major diatonic harmony? Because I think it's because of the overtone series. I think it's because of that 1 3 5 3 1, right? And to me, that signifies, like I do that with my students, where I'll just play like just pure randomness on my guitar. I'll be like, you're telling me if you didn't know anything about music, and I didn't know anything about music, and I sat down and I just played randomness, and I just make a bunch of noise, and then I just play in whatever major key, I just all of a sudden go from craziness to just 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and go all the way up in chords, right? Like triads, let's say. And it's obvious that that's organized and it sounds nice, and that's my whole point. And like, have you seen the Bobby McFerrin video where he's jumping around on stage? Okay, I gotta show you. Yeah. You seen that? So I feel like we all naturally hear major pentatonic, right? Which is basically major scale.
Right. It's that's almost like a scientific question, like why do we respond, or just like our ears just tune to that?
Yeah,
because even if you don't know music, you hear something. You hear wrong.
100%.
You may not know what to do or what went wrong.
I agree 100%.
You just it's like something's off. Something happened.
So this is my example. My example when I tell my students, I'm like, look, why does a sunset look nice? Why do we all agree that a sunset looks nice? Oh, well, it's because the sun, the rays of light go through the atmosphere and they blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it. But why, though? Why does that look good? And why does, like, a dog poop smell bad? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, we all know that, oh, wow, look at the sunset. We're all going to go look at it. It's like, oh. It's like, what? It is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a common... something like within our soul, within our just
and then people accepting. And they'll say, but what about other cultures? They don't.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just within our.
But my argument is this though. Yes, other cultures have other tendencies musically, but for the most part, they have the same 1 4 relative minor 6. They have major pentatonic, even major scale. Yeah,
it's not like it's far fetched. It's just like different. It's just a different understanding, like approachment.
Yeah, like I played some Persian music, and yes, they have microtonal music, and it's like, but the microtones, once you learn them, it's like there's a whole daskal based off a major scale.
Okay,
it's like you play. It's all major. It's 1 4 5. Like they play the same harmony. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I just feel like it's ingrained in us. Because it just sounds like it just when you go hear a choir sing and everyone's singing 3-part harmony or whatever, it's like that shit sounds good. Yeah. I just feel like it resonates with you. Like, I don't know.
Something God put inside of us.
I think there's more to it than it just sounds good.
Yeah.
There's got to be more to it.
I mean, I don't know. Music is sonically appeasing. We can't, mix in chemicals and really test it out, and like it's just something that our bodies accept or not accept. Right. And it's something about music is different than like movies. You have like people that like appreciate movies and just movie buffs, and like you just have people that really don't care about music, but you have people that love music and or still like movies, but not like other people. So it's hard for somebody to be like, I heard that song, I didn't like it, and then later on to be like, oh, I like that song now, I really love it. It's possible to watch a movie and be like, I didn't appreciate it or I didn't like it during that time. But now I can watch it and be like, oh, it's really funny. I didn't even think to watch it, So it's funny how like I'm trying to think of like we can't test movies, but we emotionally respond to it in a certain type of way. It's still art, So I'm just comparing music to movies in that sense, but
movies without music is weird.
I'm a silent film. Even silent films still have some little,
That's the old school, yeah.
Something in there. You gonna have a car drive
like Charlie Chaplin vibe, or is that didn't he do that stuff, or what's his name?
Yeah.
I like that tune, Smile. You know he wrote that?
No, I've heard it.
Smile. Da, 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 da. You never heard that song? You've heard it.
Probably.
You've heard it.
Yeah.
It's written by Charlie Chaplin, supposedly. Just kind of tight. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know, but guys, there's no such thing as minor one. I'm trying to tell you. Hey,
No
this is my whole thing is the minute I convert a few people that are in like the Jazz Police crowd.
Who's the Jazz Police, Louis? Who's considered the Jazz Police at this point? I want to know. Call them out.
Woo-hoo! It's everyone. No, it's come on. It's anyone and no. It's everyone and no one. Jazz Police.
It's they. It's the they.
It's the they.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming after me, bro. It's Jazz Police. I love it. I think it's fun.
It's good. It's good because the people that think that way are like it's almost like accepting that sugar is a drug. I think it's the same way. Like you're just in denial, dude. Like because you have to be careful on what you say because you might slip up and agree. Like, oh shit, I just talked myself into it. Like, yeah, there's no such thing as a minor one.
Hey, here's the thing: is that like I feel like people are gonna like they're thinking about it and trying to hear. I feel like the minute you really hear it, like we're saying,
you're gonna open your eyes and
you're gonna be like, these crazy assholes are right.
Or they probably do that. They're just in denial and just like now they're really trying hard not to, because you've heard the truth. You've heard the truth, and now you're running. That's the only reason why your body and soul are conflicting, because everything that you've learned up to this point in life, you're like, wait, but they're not wrong. They taught me everything I know. They taught you wrong. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, but that's just one. Just common. It's like common sense is not common. There's no such thing as a minor one.
I love it. That was great. I gotta clip that. Clip it. I don't have a team, but if I did, I'd say, Jamie, clip it. All right. Well, I mean, the thing is, bro, is that if they don't like me saying no such thing as minor one, bro, I got a whole slew of sayings that they're not gonna like.
It's gonna be over with.
But I got songs to back them up, though. Like, I got proof, dude. Prove it. Just prove it.
Yeah, as long as you can back it up, man. And it's really not that hard to back it up. You sound like it almost sounds like an idiot if you think like that's your six. I would question you, and you would throw me the fuck off if you were like, if you were refer. I mean, refer like, hey, oh, that's my. We're in C.
We're in C minor. Like, one.
No, butthead, because like later on, there's gonna be some chords that happen later on, and my 2-5-1 is not gonna match up.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Your ear is not gonna agree with that.
No. And
that's
you know
what I'm saying. I feel like if we were playing in a really loud club and you couldn't hear anything I was saying word wise, but you could only hear music wise, I feel like you would be forced to do it the way we're saying.
When you said that, automatically, because a lot of shit it starts on the minor, and I'm just thinking like a solo part. Like I wouldn't think that's my one. Mm-hmm. Like it just makes it so confusing. Okay, what happens when you get to F?
Okay, watch.
You're gonna play that as 4.
Just for reference sake, here can I just list off a few of my on my list here? Because like I have a whole folder, guys. Like,
let's see it.
I can't show it, but I'm going to list off a few because this is taking me a while. You know, I can't just be giving away, slanging too many secrets over here. So hang on, let me find it. God, I've organized this, but I hate how they make it look on here. Okay, wait. Oh, here we go. Okay, there it is. One mine. Okay. Sorry. Hang on. I got too many folders on here. Jesus. No, that's not it. Where the hell is it? Okay, so watch. Think of a tune that's in 6 chord. What they would say minor 1. Could be anything. So one of the examples was, oh, here we go. It's the first one. I passed right over it. Jesus. Okay, let's do, I have a couple like R&B tunes. So It's Love.
It's Love.
Wait, how's that one go? The Jill Scott tune? I get that one confused with The Way. Is The Way the da-da-da-da?
Right.
Right? Is that one?
Mm-hmm.
So that one starts on the 6.
Right.
And it goes to 6 of 6. That's what I call our tritone, whatever.
Right.
Everybody Loves Sunshine. I already did that one. I mean, all the ones I already did videos for, but Summertime, How Deep is the Ocean, You Don't Know What Love Is, Black Orpheus, Autumn Leaves, Segment. These are all jazz tunes. Mm-hmm. Lullaby of the Leaves. Daoud, even though that one's kind of like parallel. Anyways, I got a grip on here. So, and then if we think of 2-chord type things, like I have Love Ballad in there. Mm-hmm. Right? Because of the ending, sort of. Mm-hmm. Or that one in what do you call it? Yearning. And then for jazz tunes, I have Invitation, Record a May, So What. I did some of these already for the videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, you're gonna have to 6 and 2 because you're gonna run like it has to cover bases because it is not minor 1 at all. But 6 is in 2s. If it's not a 6, it's a 2.
Yeah.
And you just need to know where you are.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, you can, well, not all the time. Depends how you color your 6. But I can get away with, if I just playing root chords, yeah, my 6 and 2 are the same chord. But if I say play a B flat minor 9, I wouldn't ask you to play a B flat minor 9 when I really want you to play a E flat minor 9. Because B flat minor 9 is, I can't say play my 2 of D flat, which is E flat.
E flat.
I can't say play B flat minor 9, right? I can't say be like, okay, play a 2 chord because they are interchangeable. But if they're playing in their like sevens sense, not like in a like a.
You mean if you play like 4 notes, like 7th chords? You're saying, or what are you saying?
So say like I wouldn't use, so like that C, because I could put that in there in my, like say play E flat minor 9, E flat minor 7. If I had a C in there, that C is pretty much more like a for B flat minor 9. It would make more sense, at least to me. So I'm saying like 6s and 2s are interchangeable, but how are you playing your 6s would make it be like, okay, because say B flat is the 2 of A flat, B flat is the 6 of D flat, right? So that's the same chord. My 2 and 6 is relative to there, but if I said play the 2 of D flat, which is E flat, I have to play E flat minor instead of B flat. So all 6s and 2s, you know. But that would just be my 6 of whatchamacallit, F sharp. You can play that same chord, you know. So F sharp 6 and D flat 2 is the same chord, you know.
F sharp 6, D flat 2. Right, I see what you're saying. It's both E flat.
Right. So I'm saying like, you know. You don't have, it's like that's why you learn your keys because like I don't have to run out of like it's only so many things I got to remember.
Exactly.
Or just go to, you know.
I see what you're saying.
So kind of cover it in a way of it's not minor 1. It's definitely either a 6 or a 2. Because you got yearning that starts on 2.
Okay, here's
you got yearning, but then you got what's the other song called? What starts on
starts on what?
Starts on E. But Just Friends.
So that one to me is the example of what it sounds like to do a 6 chord and then down a whole step 2/5 to the 4.
Yeah,
that's.
But we're in G though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
So yearning is in D though.
Right.
Starts on the same chord.
Exactly.
So G and D
Thank you.
have the same 6 chord and 2 chord. It makes it just so much easier.
Just prove it.
Now it's like, okay, you have more space in your brain for other shit.
But see, that's why you're so good at doing medleys, though.
Okay.
It's because of the way that you frame this. DJ Medley, bro. That's your DJ name.
Right. it makes it more sense. So
okay,
you can work.
What about this one?
Yeah.
What about the D'Angelo tune?
Really Love?
No, not Really Love, but that one does start on 6. The one we always play, Booga Digga. It starts on E flat and then it goes to E major. With the guitar intro. Boom, ba, 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 Lady, that's it. Yeah. So, like, what are they saying is that? Is that minor 1?
It's my 6.
That's 6, bro. And then you do my personal favorite, True Phrygian, come on, people, where you go to E major. Right? Mm-hmm. E major.
Yeah. And if I didn't have musical learning, like understanding, I would just say play a B major chord over E.
B major over E? Yeah, I mean, that's like an E9.
Yeah,
but are you saying like triad, or what notes are you playing?
I'm saying if you were to play like that chord over, which is really a kind of like a A flat 7 chord or A flat minor 7
over E.
Over E.
Yeah, because that's literally E major. Right. Yeah, you're right. 100%.
But I would say if like you didn't know shit, I would be like just play B major.
Right, because that's the same thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So. Yeah, but I didn't know that to be or how to expand that, explaining why.
Yeah, I feel like that sound is very specific. That's what I call true Phrygian, because the sound, I feel like most of the time Phrygian, that sound is always from the 6. So take, for example, that tune, Lady, and then what's the church song, the Hezekiah Walker one, where it's like, boom, boom, gang, 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 gang.
You always say, I forget.
I always say that one. I always forget the name of it. It's in E flat, though. It's the same key.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of songs.
It's like E flat minor, so G flat.
Yeah, they start on that E flat and kind of work up and do like.
Is it Power Belongs to You or what is it called? Damn! I have it saved on my playlist. I can never remember the name of these damn songs. They all sound the same.
I don't remember
the titles.
The songs, yeah.
The titles all sound the same to me.
They just start calling out shit, and I just gotta play it.
But that one, whatever the damn name of it is, do you know what I'm talking about? It's like. Anyways, that's how I hear. I know I have a bunch of tunes based off of that stuff too, but that's where Phrygian really is, because you play in jazz school. They're always like Phrygian's from the 3. It's like, yeah, we get it, but never ever do you play it from the 3 of the key you're in. That's what they don't tell you. Right. So like, for example, say we're in G flat major. Okay. Like say we're playing Lady. Yeah. Right. You'll do the E flat to E major, or you said like B over E. Same thing, right? Yeah. That sound, E flat to E major, they would, that's what I hear as the real Phrygian, because to them, Phrygian to them would be the sound of 3rd mode, which in G flat would be B flat. Mm-hmm. But that just sounds like 3 to us. Mm-hmm. And then you go up to 4, that sounds like 4. That doesn't sound like Phrygian. But what they don't tell you is you play Phrygian from the 4 key. So what's the 4 of G flat?
B.
B, right? Yeah. So what's the 3rd of B?
E.
E flat, D sharp, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So E flat.
Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking
B flat.
I thinking like
C or whatever.
No, yeah.
Anyways, 3rd of B major would be E flat or D sharp, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be Phrygian, but you can play Phrygian from E flat, which is the 3rd mode of the 4 chord. Yeah, is how I hear it. So you're borrowing from the 4. It's just blues, baby. That's what I'm saying. Like you're constantly borrowing from the 4 or 5 key.
Right. It's not that complicated.
It's not that complicated.
I'm able to follow because I see music. I can, like, some people are like, I gotta be there or like slow down so I can. But no, like that's
like that sound of E flat minor to E major. Is that
but once I'm there, now I know I can think. To me, I can think 4 of B flat, 4 of B. Right. So I just unlocked a whole other. Now, like you were saying, going up. You can go up a 4th, or you can go up a 3rd, but I'm eventually gonna get back to my E flat minor or F sharp major.
Right. Yeah. I just love how we're just saying the same thing over and over to each other, and we're like, yeah.
That's what I told you, man. We gotta get somebody else in here that just disagree.
I'm gonna get some other guys that disagree. Yeah, but we had to start it off with the fact that there is no such thing as minor one.
Yeah, because we've been talking the same lingo for
years.
Yeah, at least 3 years now, and
yeah,
it just makes it make more sense, and
if not longer, honestly, bro. I learned this all from you guys. That's the other thing.
Well, I'm just saying we've been doing consistently
right.
So Sunday and stuff together. Right. But it's a lot of duty, not a lot of duty, but a lot of how about this? If the keyboard player or the guitar player are not locked in or have the same kind of shape and structure, it can get messy.
Oh, and the bass player, yeah. It's like
it can get very messy. So if you don't have trust and understanding, like, okay, like you know where to go, like we're not doing anything, like our chords are matching up. That's one thing. And then it's like our colors are even matching up because we're adding those 9s and 7s.
We're thinking the same frame of reference.
Yeah, and even if we go somewhere else, like throw a diminished walk up, you do it a lot, like either down or up.
That's my new thing is just diminished mania.
But but it fits, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like okay, it's like do it again so I can do it with you,
right? Or what about your thing, dude? Actually, I'm glad you said that because I forgot to talk about this. What your half step? That shit is tight.
I appreciate
the half step, like.
I
didn't get it at first. I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized
it's very simple. It's just pretty much what is it called? Like circling a note.
Yeah, it's like you would be surrounding. It's like what do some people call it? My teacher always called it surrounding,
like a gold note.
Yeah, a gold note, but you do it with chords.
Yes, and so it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Exactly, yeah.
So you probably wouldn't want to pull that out on the first bar of
course
the song.
Not. Yeah.
But it's all musical maturity and like where to place it at. But yeah, it's just kind of like,
It lifts it.
Yeah, it lifts it up, but like starting lower and then going
higher up a half step.
Both
directions, yeah. So you're off by both.
But it fits. And if the only way that it works though, because I try to do it in church, not like necessarily like all of it, but just going out of it. If you're not true, that singer gets off by
right, it sounds weird, yeah.
Oh, so you have to. As long as everybody does their part, it'll be fine. But once that singer kind of like throws it off, it just makes it a little bit more messy. But it's like if stay on that note. But you kind of got to get them to the point of like, all right, we know that they're probably not going to do too much around here. So like, all right, let's get it in there. So it lifts up the singer, because that's really what we're there for.
Right.
Like we got called to accompany, called to, but we're also creating and, allowing, what we learn and what we've been doing, to collaborate during those times. But that's one of the things that, I don't think you were there that Wednesday when we had $7,000, but that's the day me and Steve had came up with it. Because I would do like chromatic stuff all the time, but I just did it in that type of way in a song. Because I always like maybe just go down and up, or maybe up and back down. But I never put them all together.
Right.
And so we put it all together and it was like, oh shit. And then Steve was like, do it again. And so it became a thing, And so now we got you involved in it.
I know.
It's like, it makes it so much crispy, man.
See, that's the other thing. I'm gonna get Steve in here after we do a rebuttal. But the thing is, like Steve, you guys, man, like he has such great ears. Like I just don't understand. Like the fact that Steve is thinking like this also is just like, guys, like how are you gonna argue with him? Like,
yeah, man. Here you go. He's the one that he's very much one of the helps that allowed me to understand the substitutions and everything. Like, because I didn't know when I was just coming up, there was a lot of stuff that's being thrown at me fast, and it may seem like I was handling it well, but I was able to handle it well because of him and his brother Greg. They were pretty much like not holding my hand, but they would be like, nah, you had it, no, but. A lot of the songs I had no understanding. I just knew how to play. So when it came to learning things, I didn't know how to learn how to play the song. I just knew what I knew. So when it came to certain chords, I was like, what do I do here? Steve would just be like, maybe just play this. And he would just maybe show me a simple triad and add a 7. But he really didn't know. He was just playing bass. But he knew chords on bass. He was like, well, I'm going to do this, so do this. And so I learned flat 7 is colorful over 4, and 4, I can sub my flat 7 from 4 to 2 to all of these numbers. But really, I can just hold down one chord and he can do all of that.
Right. You know? But see, that's is that what you mean? Like, do you mean like, because sometimes at church, like one of the common chord subs will be like, it'll be like flat 7, 4, 1, or like movements like that, where it's out of the key, but like, see, like that's the other.
But it's really not. It's not though. It's just a subtone over the bass note for the bass note.
And that's what I'm saying is like, dude, when the minute you start subbing some of this, it's like you're borrowing from that parallel minor to my ear.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even if it's not minor, I'm just borrowing from my. Say if I'm in. Let's see. E flat. Say I'm in E flat.
Okay.
I can borrow D flat.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I can borrow D flat. But I'm thinking A flat. I can use both of those. You know. But if I because going back to that chord, like on yearning, not yearning, the lady.
Yeah.
From the E flat to the E chord.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like now I'm in, you can think B, but really I'm in E flat. Or you can think, I really wouldn't think like E flat or E major. But I wouldn't get by with that. Because you got to walk back to your 7, which is B, which is your 3.
All right, next time we're having a keyboard setup next time. Yeah.
Because that's all in my head. I can see it, but like it'll make way more sense, especially for others.
It's good. It's good to just kind of talk through it, but at the same time, it would be nice to just not say anything and just play.
Yeah, and just because they can because some people are they learn by seeing it and hearing it.
Of course, yeah. I feel like that's the important thing at the end of the day. Yeah. But all right, dude. Mission accomplished. We're gonna have you back. I'm gonna get some other guys up. The series has begun.
Thank you, man. There's no such thing as minor one.
I know. There's no such thing, guys. All right, Jazz, prove it.